Russian forces struck a Ukrainian mobile fire group. Meanwhile, Putin's propagandists showed him supposedly visiting the front line. In reality, his meeting with the military was filmed in a studio. My name is Albina Pidhirnyak. I'll tell you everything you need to know in just a moment.
The end of the car.
Ukrainian drones reached Chechnya. During the night, Ukrainian drones attacked the base of the Akhmat regiment in the Chechen city of Gudermes. Locals reported hearing explosions, and a video of the strike appeared on the social media. It's worth nothing that Chechnya's leader Kadyrov hasn't commented on the attack yet. There were also strikes today in Oryol and Tuapse. Local oil refiners caught fire after an attack by Ukrainian defenders.
Look! Phew! Thank God I didn't get it. You see, it's already a chemical fire. I don't know why they're not putting it out. Look, it's burning. My mind has reached the point of exhaustion, I think.
I saw it went there.
Ukraine's defense intelligence has released footage of a strike on the Russian air defense system in the Donetsk region. We can now watch the video of the attack. Before meeting with Wittkov, Putin pretended to visit the front line. He wants to show the Americans that things are going well for him. But if you look closely, it's obviously not a real military bunker, it's a fake studio. In the video with Gerasimov, the walls are covered with camouflage nets that are normally used outside, not inside. The ceiling is covered with some white fabric, and there is a big banner behind Putin. The whole room is lit like a film set. It's basically a stage show. And now you can hear what Putin said in this theater of nonsense.
Did I understand correctly? Yes, that the enemy at any cost, precisely at any cost, tried to unblock Krasnoarmeysk?
Yes, absolutely.
So, not taking into account the losses at all and, in my opinion, realizing that this is no longer possible, I still thrown more and more units, well, practically for slaughter, without any exaggeration. If you keep in mind that, well, except for nationalist battalions, neo-Nazi battalions, that basically the army of the armed forces of Ukraine is a workers' and peasants' army, then they do not feel sorry for an ordinary soldier. What I just said is true.
It is true, yes. Nationalist battalions do not participate, they refuse this task. Their newly drafted, mobilized are performing the task. You can see from them. People have recently been drafted, people are not trained, they are going to slaughter just in the direction of Krasnoarmeysk. Dozens and hundreds are dying there. This is the attitude, of course, I think it can be seen, for the time being. But it's simple, it's just that the extermination of their own people is going on.
This is exactly what our officers are watching on the battlefield, right?
This is observed by our officers, our soldiers and crews, and air reconnaissance posts, FPV drone pilots. There, forest belts are strewn with the corpses of Ukrainian soldiers.
Got it. Well, this. Tragedy. The tragedy of the Ukrainian people, which is associated with the criminal policy of this thieving junta, which seized power in Kiev.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said during a joint press conference with French President Emmanuel Macron that the situation on the front line is difficult, but there are no success like the ones of the Kremlin claims.
As for progress, well, you have freely accessible information. And I would look more towards Ukrainian sources for information on current affairs. Yes, Russia is progressing. There have been attacks from Russia, but none of the military operations have been truly successful. There has been very dangerous and very violent fights in certain regions, and some of our efforts have been quite successful in pushing them back. While Russia says that the Russian army has invaded cities, we still have Kupiansk in our possession, under our control. So you need to remain objectively minded.
Zelensky also noted that the most difficult issue remains the questions of the Ukrainian territories.
So the question of territory and land is probably the most difficult. To be honest, this is something that we have spoken about in the past. Without the presence of European partners, it is quite difficult to make any headway, especially for the reconstruction efforts and rebuilding efforts, because that money is going to come from predominantly European partners.
We just saw Putin in his so-called bunkers, and now he's already back in his Kremlin offices. He changed the setting, changed the suit, and is now listening to a report about the demining of the Kursk region. This is how he tries to explain why people in Kursk area still don't see any compensation or rebuilt homes.
We began preparations for future reconstruction. Again, fulfilling your instructions. The key task here is demining the territory. The way we defined it is unfolded. The work is very active. A group of unprecedented scale has been deployed. It includes engineering troops, the National Guard, the Ministry of Emergency Situations, and engineering formations of the armed forces of the DPRK. To date, 92 settlements have been cleared of mines, cleared of explosive objects, and in total, almost 2,700,000 explosive objects have been cleared during this period. We understand that without the completion of this work, there is no need to talk about any systemic restoration.
Thank you for watching this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. Support Ukraine. See you next time.